So looking at it, we're gonna need to get at least 10,000. 10,000 Dragon, that is. Yeah, 10,000 Dragon, honestly one of my favorite modern cards in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! With a really fun gimmicky effect, some amazing artwork, and potential deep lore, this might be the perfect Yu-Gi-Oh! Card. So 10,000 Dragon was released as a celebration of the fact that we had reached over 10,000 Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, and because of that, 10,000 or just the number 10 is all over this card's design. It's a level 10 monster, the password is 10,000, the set identifier is just 10k, and the effect is a really funny one as well. While it cannot be normal summoned or set, it can be special summoned by tributing monsters you control whose combined attack and defense is 10,000 or more, and if summoned this way, the attack and defense of this card becomes 10,000. One of the few monsters in the game to actually reach this number by itself. While it may seem powerful and people have definitely resolved this effect, it is definitely a gimmick. But once again, this is just like a really cool card. So from the English name alone being 10,000 Dragon, you might think it's very similar to 1000 Dragon, a very iconic fusion monster of the Duel Monsters era. That monster's Japanese name is Millennium Dragon, which is basically the same thing as 1000. 10,000 Dragon's Japanese name is actually Creator Dragon of the World, so not really the exact same, and any relation it seems is only in the English version, but that at least is maybe a cheeky nod for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Boomers out there. Otherwise, the big defining feature of this monster is that in the artwork we see the back of a Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card, which was always this really iconic swirl, and while it may seem cool, it didn't really have a meaning, but more recently there have been a few things here and there that give it a bit more meaning. Obviously we're seeing it here in 10,000 Dragon, but even in the introduction of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Chronicles animations, we see it as a little portal that Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl go through, potentially setting this up as a portal that goes through different worlds where each Yu-Gi-Oh! Monster exists, and when you look at it that way, it actually kind of makes sense. Let's take the back of a Pokemon trading card where it just has a Pokeball there. The most popular item in the franchise and the means of storing Pokemon. Having a card face down would represent a closed Pokeball, and when you flip it face up, it would be the Pokemon coming out of it. In the same way now with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game, whenever a monster, spell trap, or even your deck is face down, it now represents the potential of over 10,000 cards that could come out of that portal. The cool thing is that there is actually an article in V-Jump magazine when this card was released that gives us a little insight to the design and inspiration. I'm going off of a translation from YG Organization, which is going to be linked below, but at the very least, I kind of want to read you this first paragraph. Attention! The secret of its design is superstring theory. The majestic golden dragon and the cosmos surrounding it, shown in the splendid and mysterious illustration of 10,000 Dragon, actually bases its design on the superstring theory, which posits that all of creation is actually made up of strings. The idea behind the illustration is that the dragon represents the string, while the cosmos that is drawn using lines is emitting from its mouth, liking the myriad with creation. Perhaps 10,000 Dragon, with its design based on the grand superstring theory, is symbolic of the creation of the OCG going from this point forward. So yeah, there's a lot going on there, but it does boil down to the space theme that is utilized in Yu-Gi-Oh! From time to time, building upon it a more scientific creation theory, at least in terms of how the universe is structured. Rather than being something like a mythical creator, 10,000 Dragon is effectively a more practical creator, bringing together the strings that eventually create every Yu-Gi-Oh! Card, which then come out of the iconic swirl. The article continues on, mentioning that some of the inspiration is that of a pen, which is also genius because then it's sort of a meta thing that goes into the artwork of the actual Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, in how the artwork would be created with a pen utilized by an artist. Finally, there's also a mention that explains some of the inspiration is from Chaos Emperor Dragon Envoy of Yen, one of the most powerful dragons in early Yu-Gi-Oh! And one that definitely a lot of people would remember, but also it's sort of poetic because that dragon is a symbol of the end, while 10,000 Dragon is a symbol of the beginning. I also kind of noticed that, to me at least, it looks a bit like Felgrand Dragon, and along with the support monster, Primal Dragon the Primordial, you could even relate it to hieratic dragons in terms of the appearance. So effectively what 10,000 Dragon does is take elements from so many other dragons throughout the entirety of Yu-Gi-Oh! And bring them all together. No, but also, if we want to get a bit on the tangent of hieratic dragons as well, those ones are all really cool, being very Egyptian inspired, which is in the DNA of Yu-Gi-Oh! And also relating back to creation myths of ancient Egypt. And even though this card had been out for a while, back when Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel came out, this was effectively the cover card of a game, being the monster that you see on the title screen as well as the icon, and in my opinion is one of the best home screen wallpapers. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, while it definitely has flaws here and there, I don't think any of us can deny that it was the beginning of a brand new era for Yu-Gi-Oh! So all of that being heralded by the dragon that was the celebration of over 10,000 cards, while also being a symbol of creation for the future of the game, it really does all just work perfectly. Yu-Gi-Oh! Definitely has different mascot monsters for just about every era, and we're definitely never going to get away from Dark Magician or Blue Eyes White Dragon, but I feel that 10,000 Dragon is a monster to perfectly represent the game and serve as the definitive mascot. So let me know what you think about this monster in the comments below. Do you like the design, the lore, the inspiration? Have you ever played it online in Master Duel? Or even better, did you ever pull a copy? Because it was pretty crazy. Anyway, I'm glad to be back gushing about Yu-Gi-Oh! Every so often, so if you have any suggestions for any other monsters that we should take a look at, go ahead and leave those in the comments as well. Thank you all so much for the support as of late, and don't forget to hype up the video as well. But anyway, for now, this is GatorX, and I will catch you all later.